I came across this interesting set of data about men's dating results, and what it said is between 2000 and 2002 to 2016 and 2018, the past year of sexual inactivity rose from almost 19% to almost 31% among ages 18 to 24, and that's from Dr. Peter Ueda, who is a postdoctoral researcher from Sweden, and the latest study is actually 33%, and that number is climbing. And I think we know why. We've heard this from a bunch of different men's influencers and red pill coaches and teachers and dating coaches out there who talk about this, and the stats are true. This is not just conjecture. More men are having less sex. More men are having fewer dating options. And the reason why, and I'll explain this to you, I think it's really important to understand this, and I'm going to give you steps to not fall into this pattern and how you can actually meet women. But the truth is that the dating marketplace nowadays is extremely competitive. So you're not just trying to meet women, and you're not just trying to create a dating life, but you're actually in competition with other men. That's the thing that no one really realizes, and guys don't understand. They kind of think, I'm just doing this for myself, it's just me and that's it. But you're actually competing against other men. The girl that you want to hook up with, the girl that you're dating, other guys want that girl. They want to spend time with her, right? So it's kind of like evolve or die in a certain sense. It's almost like treating your dating life like a business. In fact, one of the things that I talk about to people on YouTube and to clients of mine is that you should be treating your dating life like product development. You should be working on yourself as a product and understanding that you need to communicate in a way where you're displaying the most value possible. There's this really interesting Bible verse in Matthew, and I thought I'd put it into this video because I think it illustrates this powerful life principle, and it's whoever has will be given more, and they will have in abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they do have will be taken from them. And I can't tell you how fucking true this is. Like, you're in a marketplace that is trading in attention, investment, and evolutionary psychology. It's insane. Like, you're in a competitive dating marketplace. And the reason I make these videos is for men. The reason why I consult for men and why I work with guys and help them create the dating life they want is because I've seen this problem. I experienced it myself, and then I took a break from teaching this because I didn't understand how bad this actually is and how bad it's getting. But you see the rise of these new influencers, like, I won't say his name because I don't want this video to get censored, the Top G, you know who I'm talking about, and other influencers rising up. You see the Fresh and Fit podcast in Miami, all these people that are in these men's spaces that talk about men's development. Why has this been such a boom? It's a bit different than the old pickup community, which was just pickup girls. Why is there such a boom? Well, the reason is because guys are searching for answers, and because it's getting more and more competitive out there. It's more and more difficult to meet women because, again, what you have is at the top end of the spectrum, you have the guys that are the social influencers or the social magnets. So you have these guys that have a lot of Instagram followers, they look cool online, they put themselves out there, they're great communicators. And then you literally have a shocking bottom, which is the majority of men. I would say the majority of men that are just overlooked, where no one's noticing them at all. And maybe they get a girlfriend who's super average, which is okay for them. They're happy with that. But a lot of these guys are settling. That's the truth. They're settling, but they just either accept that reality, or they're very uncomfortable with that reality, or they get nothing. And I know many men like this. I know many men who are existing in this reality, who are in this relationship or who have no relationship, and they know that they could attract something better, but they do not have the tools and resources to, either because they're lacking the work to do it. They haven't put in the work and the effort to create that kind of reality. That's one option. Or it's simply because they haven't found the resources necessary to push them to create that reality, so they get left behind. And then guys like myself, and by the way, I'm not even in the top echelon of guys. I just have very good skills at attracting women. I don't have tons of value. I don't have thousands and thousands of Instagram followers. I don't have tons and tons of cash. I don't have a massive network. I'm working on building all of those things over time, and in the next year, I'm going to be in a very different place, I'm sure. But even me, like, I'm in the top echelon of guys, but it's because I have advantages that most men don't have in terms of how I communicate, how I dress, how I walk, how I talk. The assets that I have in terms of my digital presence, which is not a lot even, but it's better than what most guys have. So the truth about this marketplace, if you're not going to step up and you actually compete, it doesn't mean that you're never going to find a girl. It doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is that you're either going to choose one side or the other. There's going to be one side, which is, and I want you to really think about this, because if you don't correct where you are, this is what's going to happen to you. Or by the fact you're watching this video, I'm sure it means that you want to grow it. It means you want to create the kind of life that you want. That's why you watch these videos. That's why you're interested in them. And maybe you're just in the background taking the information in, you scroll and you don't change anything. Or maybe you are someone who's investing in yourself and you are growing, you are putting in the work, whether it's financially investing or investing with your time, or both. Going out and meeting girls, going out and working on yourself, yourself, building your finances, building your business, building your SMV, which means your sexual market value. So it doesn't mean that you're never going to find a girl, but here's the two sides. One side is settling with a woman that doesn't truly respect you and honor your masculinity. So this is the one side. And this is what I think is probably the darkest place you could be, one of the darkest places you could be, where you literally settle with a woman who just doesn't respect you. You settle with a woman who's not fully invested into you, and she's been already gone through her dating journey maybe, and then you kind of just wind up with each other, or she's someone who's lower than the quality of what you want. That's another option too, right? So you do meet a girl, you meet a partner, but she's not the quality that you want, and you're not even very attracted to her, but you kind of settle for it, and you work with what you've got. You work with what you can attract based on who you are now, because you've stagnated. So she doesn't respect you and she doesn't honor your masculinity. I think the other side is having choice and freedom to create your own dating reality with the partner that you really want, who's fully invested in you. And I'm telling you, this is what I've created, right? I have an amazing life partner. I also meet women. I also travel. I meet women with her as well. And we have this amazing experience together because I've become the kind of man who can command the kind of dating relationship that he wants, and not command in terms of I tell her to do this. I'm not saying to her, hey, it has to be this way, listen to me, but it's just who I am and how I live, and she came within that. So that's the other side. So you've got to choose, which of these sides do you want? Do you want to have the freedom to create your dream dating life, which could be dating multiple girls and eventually finding a really awesome partner or two really cool partners and then making one of them or both of them your girlfriend, right? And getting married one day. How do you want to do this? Do you want to have freedom or do you want to settle? It's up to you to decide. And this concept that's been coming out recently, promoted by Mr. Tate, I think I can say that part. I think the algorithm won't pick up on that, but that guy, this concept of the matrix has been promoted recently. This concept of the matrix, which is you're in a matrix, you need to escape the matrix and create your own reality. It's true. It's a true concept. It exists with money, which is not my primary field of expertise, and it exists in dating. Those two things that exist a lot because those are two big things people need. It also exists in health, by the way, as well. That's another one it exists in, right? Health, wealth, and relationships. Those are pretty much the three categories of human desire, human need, based on evolution and based on biology. So you have health, which is, don't worry, you don't need to eat aggressively healthy and be super in shape. You're okay the way that you are. No fat shaming. Let's not do that. We already know that. Okay. Then you have wealth, which is don't try to acquire lots of wealth. Instead, put your head down, get your job, and do the right thing. Rely on the government, all that shit, right? I mean, that's not my field of expertise. That's not why I'm on YouTube. And then we have relationships, which is where I come in. That's what I do, and that's where I help men. So relationships, which is, again, keep your head down. Eventually you'll find a nice girl, be a good guy, make sure you get a girl a drink and ask her out. If she rejects you, try again with a different girl. Don't date too much out of your league. Don't work on yourself. Don't be the fuck boy. Don't be the guy who's going to rock the boat too much and who's too sexually dominant or too sexually aware. Don't do that. Keep your head down, and eventually you'll find a nice girl, and hopefully she'll like you back and you'll have a relationship. You get married, and then hopefully it works out, or you get divorced and figure it out from there, right? That's the matrix. Those are the systems that are in place to tell you this is how the world works. Play by these rules. Do you want to play by these rules? Because if you play by those rules, what's going to happen again is option one, settling, a life of constraint, a life without freedom. Or do you want to break out of those systems, and do you want to create freedom? Do you want to create abundance in your life? Because if you want that, well, you have to step out of the matrix. How do you actually break out, and how do you create your reality? I'm going to give you I didn't see my notes here. I'm going to give you 5 principles that are going to help you break out of this. Okay. And here's what they are. Number 1 is know what you don't want. That's number 1. You have to know what you don't want. And for me, this was extremely instrumental in my journey from going from being a guy who settled in his dating life and being a guy who just hoped he could get the girl and could do the right thing to get the girl. I went from that to being a guy who had massive options. At one point had 3 literal girlfriends that I was dating in different countries, and was able to create the exact kind of dating life I want, eventually finding a really high quality woman and still meeting women even with her. How did I get to this point? Well, 1, I started off by knowing what I didn't want. I got to a point where I was so uncomfortable with my reality that I thought and realized and understood I can't be here anymore. I always say that there's 2 ways that people are going to change. There's 2 ways you're going to create change. It's either going to come from desire. Desire is there's something that I really want, and I'm aware that I want it, so I'm going to work to get it. Desire can be a motivating factor sometime, but most of the time it's not enough, because a lot of people have desire but they don't change. And then the other motivating factor is discomfort. This is what led me to change my dating life. This is what's now leading me to work on my health, because I thought that I was too skinny finally, and a few things happened in my personal life where I really woke up to the fact that I was very I wouldn't say out of shape in an unhealthy way, but I was too slim and I didn't feel like a dominant man who could control his reality. After this, I'm heading to the gym after this, by the way, after shooting this content here. I realized I was so uncomfortable in the reality of not feeling good in my body, and not feeling when I walk through a club or when I walk with my woman in the street, when I go through my life, I felt like I was not someone who was in control of his reality because of his body, that I had to change it. So that's discomfort, right? So discomfort's going to cause you to change there. I also felt this financially, like I have to work harder in my business so I could afford to build the life I want and bring the things into my life that I want. And also with relationships, this was a big factor for me, discomfort. So I knew what I didn't want in my relationships. I knew that I did not want to have no options. I knew that I did not want to hope that a girl wanted to go out with me. I knew I didn't want that. I knew I didn't want to throw things in the dark and hope that a girl liked me back. That was step one for me. So step one for you, you have to know what you don't want and ask yourself this question: do you know what you don't want? Do you know that? Do you know, hey, I want this in my life, I want these things in my life, and I want to attract these things in my life, but at the same time, I know what I don't want to have in my life. I know that I don't want to fast forward 15 years and I'm sitting with a girl that's objectively a 5 out of 10 and sucks my dick once a month when I take the trash out for her after four times in a row. And that's what, like, I'm not kidding. I've worked with clients like this, guys who have settled and they're in their 40s, 50s, and they're going through a divorce. And I'm like, dude, are you getting laid anymore? And no, I have to beg for sex from her, and she holds it over my head, and I want that validation from her, and I want to be desired. And they can't let it go because she's their only source of input, right? She's their only source of sex, and it's sad. It's so fucking sad. So do you want that? If you don't want that, you're on the right path. If you know what you don't want, that's step number one. Step number two is to integrate new habits, okay? And this is always a big one for me. What I do is, and what I give to everyone is, if you know what you don't want, and then you have a vision of the reality you do want to create, what are the habits that go along with that reality, right? So as an example for me with the gym, if I want to get jacked, if I want to get strong, what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to eat a lot. So for breakfast, what I had is a bunch of turkey meat left over from Christmas from my partner's mom, which was awesome. Thank you, partner's mom, for that. And she doesn't watch these videos, but yeah, I had a bunch of that. I had 3 eggs, an avocado, some berries, some something else I had. I forgot what I had. Something else I ate with it. But I had that, right? Or I think it was cheese. I had some red cheddar cheese, right? And a glass of orange juice. Good meal. And then I'm going to drink a protein shake, a massive loaded shake, a bunch of peanut butter, oats, all this stuff. So what are the habits that I built? One is eating more, right? I make sure that I set a goal to eat I eat 2 times a day, and then I drink a massive shake every day. I probably could eat more, but I don't have time to eat more because I'm working a lot. So I eat 2 massive meals a day and a shake a day, which pretty much gives me my calories. All right. And then what else do? I make sure I go to the grocery store to shop for things 2 times a week. Or if I decide to skip groceries, I make sure that I eat out consistently and I buy food. I have a couple specific hot spots here in Budapest that I pick to where I can get my calories from, a burrito spot, or I can load up on calories, right? What do I do? I've created habits. I've created a series of new habits to go within the lifestyle that I want to create for myself. So in dating, what did I do there? I made a habit early on in my journey. I said every single day I'm going to connect with 2 new people. And then that shifted from 2 new people to 2 new women because I had the time to go out because it started becoming my job. So I literally made time to go out and connect with women every single day. It doesn't even mean that I had to go far away from my job, far away from my house. I didn't have to do any of that stuff. I just stepped foot outside of my door. I went to the grocery store to shop for a few things, and I made sure that I found 2 women in the grocery store to talk to. If I had to take metro to New York City, go out of my way to create a habit to talk to 2 new women, right? What are the new habits that go within the life that you want to create? What do those habits look like? Maybe it's waking up earlier. Maybe it's cutting out certain applications in your life. Maybe it's eliminating porn. Maybe this habit is going to be interacting with 5 new women a week. This is something that I give my consulting clients. We put them on a regimen of this is how many women you have to interact with every single week. Are you making this goal? Are you hitting this regimen, right? The next step, which is so powerful, step number 3, is cutting out distractions. And this is such a big thing. There's this YouTuber I'm a huge fan of. His name is Dan Coe. He's an online creator, and he talks a lot about how it's not necessarily you competing versus others that stops you from getting to your goals or from getting ahead of everyone else, but it's you competing against yourself, right? And distractions are one of the biggest things that are going to keep you from creating the kind of life you want. When you're distracted and when you have a double mind, when your focus is taken away from immersing yourself in what it is that you want in your life, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get to your goals and snap out of the matrix faster, because there's all these things that are programmed to meant to distract you. So as an example, if you find yourself binging a Netflix show, that's a tool of the matrix to take you away from your goals. Even if your goal is, again, let's go back to health, wealth, and relationships. If your goal is fitness, let's say to get stronger and faster and more athletic and healthier, or either lose weight or gain weight. Let's say with money, it's to build your business. Let's say you have a job, you want to build a business on the side as well. And then dating, you want to connect with attractive women and have attractive women in your life. Let's say you pick 2 of those 3 things that you have to really focus on. Let's say your health is kind of in check and it's going to be business and dating, right? We'll just use those 2 things because that's closely related to who I am and what I do, right? Anything that's outside of that is actually a distraction. So I'll give you an example for me right now. My 2 focuses is social circle. I'm building a social circle pretty soon. Wink, wink, something crazy is going to come out about that, but I'm not going to share that right now. It's going to be free as well. It's going to be super cool. But so social circle, I'm building that right now. And then I'm also working on business, right? Those are the 2 things I'm focused on. So what are my distractions? Right now, one distraction is the NBA. I love following basketball, so that's a distraction. So I minimize that distraction, but I still check the app and look at the scores, but I only watch 1 game a week, right? So I don't watch more than that. So I willfully say that I'm going to let myself be distracted 1 time per week for about 2 hours to watch a Lakers game. Otherwise, I just keep track of the scores, scroll for maybe 2-3 minutes on my phone in the morning. That's one example. What's another distraction that's taking me away? It could be porn, right? Sometimes that happens, right? You get horny and I'm like, okay, my girl's passed out sleeping because she's working and she's busy. And I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to go out right now and go talk to chicks because I don't spend all my time doing that. I'm busy working a lot and I got to get up early. So I just jerk off, right? That's a thing. So I have to cut that out too. That's another distraction. 0 porn. Another distraction, Netflix. I like watching shows on HBO and Netflix. There's a bunch of shows that I think are super cool, but I'm proud of myself. Yay, Tim, I haven't watched a TV show actually in like 4 or 5 months right now, which is crazy. Video games is another distraction. I'm being really vulnerable. Video games is another distraction I have. I love gaming. I love playing video games, whether it's sports games, or whether it's shooters like COD, like whatever, right? I love playing video games. I haven't played video games in about 8 months, which is crazy for me. My PlayStation is sitting right there behind the camera on the television, but I have not played video games in 8 months because I'm cutting out distractions. And as a result, my business has grown more in the last 8 months, more like 6 months. I've seen things just completely shift in my life and how I interact with the world, how I achieve my goals, and how I move towards what I want. And the same thing applies with dating. Again, if you really want to create the dating life you want, attract women the way you want, be that guy who has dating options and who is not succumbing to the matrix, as it were, and is actually able to create the kind of abundance and create the kind of options that he wants, you need to minimize all distractions. You need to cut out things that are taking you away from your higher purpose and where you want to be. And then step number 4 is what we call finding ecosystems. And this is really cool. The definition of an ecosystem, like the proper dictionary definition, is a complex network or interconnected system. And another version of this definition is a biological community of interacting organisms and their physical environment. So when I say find an ecosystem, what I mean is you're gonna be the people that you surround yourself with. Like, you're gonna do this. Like, you've heard the quote, birds of a feather flock together. I'm sure you've heard you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, or something like that. There's that quote. And it's the truth. You're going to become the people you surround yourself with. When I started surrounding myself with spiritual people, I grew as a spiritual person. When I started surrounding myself with people who were making more money than me, I started making more money. When I started surrounding myself with men who were attracting, or who cared about attracting high quality women in an efficient, healthy way without wasting time and energy, I started to become the kind of guy who attracted women into his life. So it really depends also on who you're around. So it's not just creating new habits. It's not just minimizing distractions, because you're not an island. You're someone who is interacting with the world. You are playing in the world. It's your sandbox. So who are you surrounding yourself with? What you need to do is find ecosystems, whether this is paying for those ecosystems through mentorship, through various communities, or you're in these ecosystems for free, or because you're giving your time or some other kind of thing that you're giving to this ecosystem in this community. You find these ecosystems, you find these communities, and you invest time, you invest money in them, and you bring these people into your lives because you participate in things that are going on, and you participate in ecosystems and fit yourself into ecosystems with people that have the life you want, or people that are moving towards having the exact kind of results that you want. This is step number 4 of growth. And then we've got step number 5, which is build assets. And what you want to do is build assets that give you an advantage in the dating marketplace. So an example of some of these assets I'm talking about would be things like how you dress, right? How you communicate, your ability to create relationships with women, your ability to earn money. All these things are assets in the dating marketplace. If you want to grow in the dating marketplace, you have to have assets that are going to help you. What is your social circle like? What do you look like? How in shape are you? What is your vocal tonality like? How do you walk? How do you talk? These are all assets, things that you have that contribute to what women see when they look at you, to what women see and the decisions they make about dating you, right? You want to build assets in the dating marketplace. The problem that I see with a lot of men is that they try to date with 0 assets. So they try to, and this happens a lot in the pickup community, it's really funny, they try to rely on just going out and approaching girls. Like a lot of pickup coaches teach this, just go out and approach girls and take action and learn all these techniques, and it doesn't matter what your value is as a man. But if you have value and if you add assets into your life, again, this could be money, this could be certain levels of status, this could be how you look, how you dress, different, even your fucking haircut is an asset. So if you have assets in the dating marketplace, it's going to make dating way fucking easier for you. I know for me, I learned game and pickup skills first. That was the first thing I learned. And then after that, I built assets. Now I have a bunch of assets and I'm building more when it comes to social circle, which I've never had before. So it was always dating skills, dating skills, dating skills. And that was a lot of effort. And I did get some results. I got enough results to be better than most guys that I knew. But then after that, it was build value and build my assets as a man. So get in shape, dress cool, have cool hair, get tattoos, make more money, travel to cooler places, be in better high status environments, be around cooler, more attractive people. When I started doing this and building these assets for myself, everything became super easy. And a lot of coaches, a lot of consultants don't talk about this because it's just take all this action, bro, and you'll get there, and you're in this never-ending spiral of being the action taker guy who's going around chasing girls and breaking down his field reports. But instead of doing that, which is a good start, by the way, it always has to start from action. Instead, you want to build assets along with the action and then leverage these assets correctly. That's step number 5. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. If you want to step out of the matrix, if you want to break out, if you want to attract the dating life that you want, and you want to attract women how you want in your dating life, again, follow these 5 steps. Number 1 is know what you don't want. That's the most important. Number 2, integrate new habits. Number 3, minimize all distractions and cut things out of your life that don't move you forward. Number 4, find the right ecosystems and the right circles. And number 5, build assets. That's huge. Build the assets that are going to make everything way fucking easier for you. If you appreciate this video and if you learn from it, press the red subscribe button, give this video a like, a little thumbs up, and press the notification bell so you know when I'm uploading more. And if you want to go deeper and get training with me on this and join my consulting program, what you can do is watch a little training that I have below. It's completely free. It explains my 4-step system for how I get results for my clients and how I personally transformed my life. I go into detail in that system. It's a very powerful video. You can check it out down below, and then it leads to a page. It's completely up to you where you book a call with me. It'll be a 30-minute free call where we'll see if you're a good fit to join our system and if you'd be ready to invest in this kind of work that I do. We'll work together for a year, and within the first 90 days of the program, aim to get you some major results and turn around the entire way that you interact with the world, the entire way you interact with women, and bring some beautiful women into your life without wasting time doing all kinds of weird pickup tricks and things like that. Okay, I'll see you on that training, or I'll see you on our next training here on YouTube. Stay blessed, my friend.